Cincinnati, a 6'6 senior from Long Beach, California, number 33, Terry Nelson. At center for Cincinnati, a 6'10 senior from Monrovia, California, number 44, Corie Blount.
Let's talk about it. Hey, let's talk about it. Legends Unplugged, what's the deal? Speaking bluntly with C Blunt and T-Nail. We tell it how it is and all due respect to UC Connect. Them Bearcats, we rep, elevate, graduate, we the final two. Still at it like we did the final four back in 92. Let's talk about it. Legends Unplugged with T. Nelson and C Blunt. Yeah, let's talk about it.
At Cincinnati, take it after.
Yes.
We are back.
And welcome to another episode of Legends Unplugged. This is the graduation edition. Legends Unplugged, where the stories are always hilarious. We just hope they're real. I'm your host, Terry Nelson.
And I'm your co-host, Corie Blount. And we are excited to really discuss this episode, man, because this is what it's all about.
Yeah,
education and graduation here at the University of Cincinnati. It's almost like Christmas when you think about how special time of year this is for us.
You think about the time that you put in. You know, you're a freshman on campus. Well, first of all, taking the campus tour when you're a senior in high school, you walk around and you can envision yourself seeing all these buildings, making your mark. I'm going to do this. When I graduate, I'm going to have my degree in this. I'm going to change the world. Like, you have this whole mentality. And then you go through, I don't like this class. I got to switch this class. I don't like this professor. This professor is awesome. I got to need a study group. There's all kind of things that you got to get into in preparing for this. And the moment hits you right now.
No question. And for me, I'm looking back that I never even thought of myself going to college at one point. Yeah. So just to have that experience, once you accomplish that and you're walking around that campus and you're interacting with all these new faces and you're adapting to this environment, and you got classes, and then, well, fortunately for us, we play basketball.
Yeah.
So I tell any kid, man, there is nothing like the college experience, not just on the educational side, but just the interaction and having the ability to just experience new people.
What's the first image that hit your head when you thought about graduation?
For me,
yes.
Oh, man, I almost broke down because I knew I had broke a generational curse in my family.
Correct.
I was the first one in my family to ever attend a four-year school, but also graduate from a four-year school. And I heard that from my great-grandmother. So from that moment, man, I remember I was in my last class and the teacher told me, like, you passed this test. And you knew, of course, everybody knew what I was there for to get that degree that year. And, man, when he told me I passed, man, I literally just broke down. It was the start of something that I knew I had to do because before she passed away, I had made that promise to her that I was going to get that degree. And she passed away before I did it. So after I did it, it was just like an emotional rush for me.
You know what? I got so much respect for the guys that finished the process, because a degree doesn't guarantee you get a job. No. It doesn't guarantee you success. It does give you a head start. It gives you comparison resumes that says, okay, this person completed a process, and then the school matters. So if your school is a heavy academic institution that is known for certain degrees or areas, you graduate from that and you have that degree, it goes a long way. Yeah. Then the network that you are plugging into after graduation, knowing that when you graduate, you've got people that you've already connected with that live in this state. Maybe you're going to go back to Texas. We got people down in Texas. Maybe you're going to North Dakota. We got people all over the globe. And now that you have your degree, I was sitting over there and it was a whirlwind for me because I was with the Harlem Globetrotters. And I said, I'm not doing this. It was 30 days out of the month, 25 days you're in a different city.
Yeah. And
you're in a bus going to it. It's like as soon as you have a game that night, you wake up in the morning, bus leave at 5, you travel somewhere 4 or 5 hours, and I said, I can't do this anymore. And I called Hugs. I said, Hugs, I want to come back and get my degree. Now, you can make me a manager. I'll do mail outs. That's when you had to take 500 pieces of mail or so of anything that was in the paper, print it out, and then stuff it and mail it out to all the athletes that are on the mailing list that you're trying to, get interested in your program. And when that happened, he said, yeah, you can come down there and do that. I said, look, you can make me I can work with Larry Harrison, work with the big man. He goes, go see Dr. Meacham tomorrow and get signed up for classes. And I was like, yes. And so when I went back, they didn't take any of the classes that I took the first 2 years. So I had to go to evening college, which was much better for me because now you can email your professors, have a conversation with them.
They had emails back then?
They had emails back then, brother. Yeah, you had to write a letter and send it to a pigeon.
Or something.
I rolled them up and gave it to a dove. I was like, dove came and was like, wop, wop. Took my stuff. Yeah. But it was just a different level. And then I was getting married that weekend also. So I graduated on that Friday and got married on that Sunday. But it was awesome. So graduating, I know I felt it was a different thing. It was a sense of accomplishment. How'd you feel?
It was just, for me, it was amazing because I got my high school diploma and I got my AA degree. But when I graduated from the University of Cincinnati, it was like it was the final stepping stone for me because when you think about, the first thing I would say was, okay, I didn't get mine and within the 4 year, or my 2 years at the University of Cincinnati, I ended up leaving early because the NBA camps and everything and the trials was during my last quarter, so I didn't get my degree. So when I was in the NBA, they were trying to push us to do Phoenix Online. That's when Phoenix Online had just came out. So they was pushing guys towards doing that. And I was really interested in doing that, but I said, man, I want to get my degree from my school. I want to get it from the University of Cincinnati. So the minute I retired, man, I came back, was coaching at the, kind of like your story, started coaching at the school and was taking classes. And I went through that process, man, and it was like, man, it was just an amazing feeling because I saw it, but you don't really see it until you feel it. Mm-hmm. I felt it, man.
What was the emotion? Was it pride? Was it?
It was a sense of accomplishment.
Was it relief?
Yeah.
Yes.
And not just that, but, you know, I had been speaking at camps and doing things like that, and I'm telling kids how important it is about education, and then I'm telling them to graduate, and I had it done myself. But it made me feel now when I go back and talk to these kids, don't just do what I say, do as I did. I got it done now, and I was so proud of my diploma. If you see anybody that was in Liberty Township around the time of my graduation, I wore my cap and gown for like 3 days straight, bro. Yeah. I was all at Kroger's. People like, there go Corie. He proud of that moment.
Walking around with a cart.
I kept my cap and gown on. I would get dressed and put my cap and gown on, not knowing that it was kind of a spearhead to something or a vision I had in the future, man. So I was just so proud, man. And I knew for me, I was going to have a family, and I wanted to be able to enforce or kind of let my kids know that this is important and it's a game changer. It levels the playing field, and I'm a proponent for education, and I made sure that all my kids focused on that too.
Somebody who was noticed assistant manager at Kmart, to now graduate of the University of Cincinnati. After you're already in the NBA, so you graduate from high school, you graduate from JUCO, which we both did, and then you get to University of Cincinnati. But before you graduate, you go off and you're in your NBA career. Yeah. Why come back? I know that NBA was pushing it, but you were already making money and doing what you want to do. Was it the promise that you made to your grandmother?
Man, no question, man. I mean, I can still see us sitting at that table. And when I got my scholarship, she didn't really understand the full detail. This was my great-grandmother, so she didn't really understand the full detail of what I was getting ready to embark on, but she knew I was going to college. And she expressed to me, like, when she said that, we sitting at the table, and she was like, well, baby, as far as I know, no one in our family got a college degree. I was like, Grandma, I'm going to get mine.
That's the weight right there. Oh,
yeah. So I'm sitting there, and lo and behold, I get through. I'm on course to graduate, and then the NBA start calling. And I never forgot I made that call. Like, I said, Grandma, I know I promised you I was going to get my degree, but I got a chance to, they're telling me I could be a late second-round pick in the NBA draft. And she was like, well, there you go, thinking with your feet again, not with your head. You don't understand how important that degree is going to be. And I'm like, I do understand, but you don't understand. Yeah. So, you know, of course, you know how the story goes. I ended up getting drafted and everything, and that conversation came up even after I got drafted. Like, well, when are you going to go back? I'm like, well, I'm going to have time to do it now. So it was just an incredible feeling, man. And I had so much pride and support from my family. Even that's what really made me feel special, because I got support from friends, family, administrators, coaches. Everybody was pushing for me. People in the city. I was, when I came back, of course, after my career, I was on the news. They were saying that I was getting. So it was just an amazing feeling to be here in Cincinnati and to get that degree.
My mom was living in Atlanta. She got a chance to drive. My mom hates driving through mountains. She got this phobia of mountains. I don't know what it is. She drove up. My sisters drove up. My nieces. So I had a contingent of people that couldn't come to basketball games, but they drove up, made the sacrifice to come to watch me graduation. Yeah. So I'm sitting over here and I'm like, okay, we're graduating, and 2 days later I'm getting married, and I'm sitting over here. I'm trying to take it all in. I'm one of the guys that I express my nervousness by making people laugh and do stuff and talking to people and going into any crowd and making them feel comfortable, asking them how they doing. And I was just sitting there, and I was just sitting in the seat, and all these memories are playing back in my head, running up and down the park at nighttime when everybody's doing whatever they're doing. I'm training. Yeah. I'm dribbling the basketball. I'm coming home doing my homework. I'm turning on classical music because I heard that classical music helps you study. So I used to have classical music. My cousin, Larry Fuller, said, man, I remember you used to come home and do homework. I'm like, yes, you do homework.
You're supposed to.
He's like, man, that's why I love you, man, because no matter what we was doing, you said I can't do that until I finish my homework.
Yeah.
He said, you had a vision. And I'm like, well, I didn't even think about that. I did have a vision. I thought it was just because I wanted to play basketball.
Yeah.
But it was like, no, can you get a job? Can you complete a task? Can you stick and focus on something long enough that if there is a plan laid out for you to achieve what you want to do, can you do that?
Right.
Can you follow that step? And I was sitting there thinking, like, there's a lot of people that get to that moment and don't finish for some reason.
Yeah.
And when I say I have so much respect for those that not just go to school and then get their degree at the end, but those who go to school, don't get their degree, life happens, and then decide they want to come back
and get it done.
You know how hard it is once you've been out of school 10, 15 years to get back into study mode? This is before AI and all that, so you're in study mode now. You got to come back and prepare your stuff, write essays, cite sources, look stuff like it is. It's something.
Yeah, and you gotta look at the other disadvantages that we had. Like, I know I'd come home from school sometime and ask my grandmother to help me with my homework. We spend 2 hours there, and I take it to school. It's all wrong. Like man, we was up.
Mama the teacher gave you 2 zeros. She was like, one for you and one for your grandma.
I said, man, so those are the things that you reflect back on and know that you achieved this. It's an honorable mission to do that, man, once you accomplish that. And you just able to reflect back, like you said, you don't have no choice but to do that because you know the sacrifices, you know the time and everything you put in, and especially as a student athlete with practices and traveling and to be able to do that on time is an amazing feat. But then if you don't, you go through life and then you have the ability to come back. I'm like you. I take my hat to anybody that has that ability.
What are some of the obstacles that stop people from graduating? I mean, when you're little, you have a school you want to go to. You have in mind you like the teams that at that school. You like the football team, the basketball team, or whatever it is, baseball team, whatever attracts you to that school. You want to wear that logo.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, there's a split. There's a divide. Some people they get a job. They say, I don't need a degree anymore. What is it that you think that stops people, whether it be athletes or just regular students, from completing the process?
You know, when I look back at that, I think I can speak for myself. Like, I never really bought into school as a knowledge-based place. I thought it was something I had to do. And when it's forced upon you, you don't see the value in it. You don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I'd be trying to have fun. You know, they didn't have ADHD back then, but damn it, I know I was close to it because I couldn't
just
focus.
Wasn't diagnosed. Right.
But then you got your people in your environment and your community that aren't really pushing that narrative neither. So my whole thing, my grandmother was just, man, once you get out of high school, you got to get a job. College wasn't never talked about at a table setting or anything like that. So it wasn't never reinforced to be like, you're going to college. No, you know, some families, you don't have no choice. You're going to college. It's already set for you. However we're going to do it, that wasn't never talked about in my family. So sports allowed me to even have that opportunity to even do it. And we took the long route,
Yeah,
especially
man.
to get a D1 college scholarship and then to get a degree from a D1 school. So we took the long route, but it made us appreciate our journey. I know when you graduated, you look back and was just like, this is what it was all about.
Right.
And we didn't graduate on time. Like
No.
you say, we went through life experiences, but we had it in us to know what was important and come back. I had it all set that I was going to do that. I just didn't know when.
Yeah, I just felt incomplete.
Yeah.
So you finish, you're going out. I'm coaching high school basketball around the area, and I was my first job at St. X. I got a call from Dick Burning, the honorary Dick Burning, rest in peace, brother. He was at St. X, and he called me up, and he goes, "Hey, Terry, I want you to come over here and teach that UC press that you guys have. We got a pretty good team. We have a chance to compete for a title, and we just missing one component, and I think you'd be a great teacher. We'd love to have you on staff." So I said, all right, great. So I went over there, and he's like, "You got your degree?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "Dang." He said, "People want to hire you." He was going to hire me. He was talking about for a head coaching job. He goes, "They want to hire you." And so we did that. And then the next year, I coached with Lannis Timmons. He had got the head coaching job at Walnut at Western Hills. He said, "T, you got your degree?" I said, "No." He goes, "Man, how you going to get a job out here?" He said, "You only need to coach a year or two on assistant level and learn how to be an assistant, and then you can get you a head job."
Right.
So then halfway through that season, I ended up going to the Globetrotters, and I realized this is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, this is not the vision that I had when I'm running on the beach in Long Beach at nighttime and trying to get myself and picturing myself getting in the Final Four, laying on the bed, shooting the ball in the air for hours at a time, saying, "I'm going to be in the Final Four. I'm getting a dunk in the Final Four. I'm going to do all this." And I'm realizing, I'm like, wait a minute. All those visions I had, I've already lived. I didn't have a vision of graduating.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started thinking about, man, you know what? I'm one of the only people in my immediate family. I'm the only person that graduated from college. Attend college. My mom she took some courses. She was doing hair and cosmetology. She took them at Long Beach City College, took a couple, and then she had kids she had to tend to. Mm-hmm. I had cousins that went to San Jose State and they graduated. But for me, it was like I had to do this for the Long Beach cats in the poly apartments that we hang out with, and everybody was. See, in California, it's so much competition to be great at something.
Man, no
so,
question.
you know, when I went to on Long Beach Poly, it says home of scholars and champions on the wall.
Yeah.
And so somebody was going pro. Somebody was going pro in football. Somebody was going pro in basketball. Somebody was going, doing mechanics. Like we had state champions in almost every sport and non-sport stuff. And it's like, what's my mark? And then I thought about it. I'm going to let these guys down if I come back here without a degree.
Yeah.
Did all that work, go to the Final Four, make attention to the university. It was all kind of new stuff at the university after we got back from the Final Four. Yeah. Met a lot of people, traveled the world, and everybody asking me, "Hey, man, what you major in?" Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't get my degree. You was there for 6 years. You didn't get your degree. Yeah, so it was one of those things where you had to come back and you had to face reality and be like, "Look, I don't care how long it's going to take. I'm completing this process for my children."
Yeah, that's just thinking about that because we came together.
Yeah,
and so I can still envision when I walked into Mr. Meacham's office.
Yeah,
and he had my transcripts in his hand. I walked in, "How you doing, sir?" He's like, "Hey, Corie, sit down." I sat down. He was like, "So, welcome to Cincinnati." He said, I got your transcripts. So, what do you want to get your degree in?" And I said, "I guess I wouldn't mind being like a doctor or something like that." Then he looked at my transcripts and was like, "What else interests you?" I said, "I don't know. You got some suggestions?" He looking through, he said, "You ever thought about criminal justice?"
Yeah. Yes.
I said, "Nah, I don't want to be no cop, man." Yep. He like, "Well, nah, you don't have to be a police officer. There's other aspects of criminal justice. You can be a lawyer or you can be a probation officer." I said, "That's it." I said, "I'll be a probation officer because all my friends is on probation and I can help them when I get home, man. Yeah, sign me up for criminal justice." And that's what I focused on. So he put me in there, and that's Dr. Latessa. I remember all my professors, man, Doc Z and all those guys. It was a great experience to learn about that aspect of criminal justice from seeing it from the other side because I saw it in the streets. Mm-hmm. But now you're getting ready to see the integral workings on how the system works and how police and things they had. So you get a new respect for it. I just knew that I wasn't gonna be a police officer, so I bought into the probation. So what made you choose your degree?
Man, first of all, when I was in high school, I was going into my senior year, and I had to go in the summertime to get your senior year classes, and Miss Landon, who was our counselor, she said, "Okay, you have all your core classes. You just need some electives now. You're ready for graduation." She said, "I'm going to put you in a creative writing class." I said, "Yeah, because my handwriting is sloppy." And she started laughing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Not only that, but it's going to teach you how to organize your thoughts because you have a very imaginative mind." And I'm sitting over there. I just felt like really small. Like I'm like, "Oh, my goodness." She wasn't talking about.
Did she say she's going to teach you how to spell, too?
Yeah. So I walked out that room, man, and it had all these classes. And then when I got there, I saw I wanted to go into CCM to study communications.
Okay.
So I did an audition tape.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I sent this audition tape over to the university, to the athletic department, and then they were going to walk it over to CCM. And they laughed the entire time. I did a 3-scene. I had one where I had a purple suit on with no shirt on, looking like Butch Jones or Butch Davis, the boxing.
The boxing promoter.
Yeah. So I did one with that. I did one with a suit on. I did one with something else. 3 different scenes. And they said, "Man, you got the acting part down, but it's going to be a 1.5 year wait for you to get into CCM." And I was like, "I'm not getting into CCM. I'm not waiting an hour and a half. I got 2 years. So I went and saw Doc, and Doc was like, "Let's get you into criminal justice."
Yeah.
So then when I went to evening class, I ended up getting my degree in liberal arts social science, which was criminal justice, African American studies, and psychology with a minor in humanities. And they were like, "Well, what are you going to do with that?" I said, "Well, I do a lot of stuff with African Americans. Some of them may be criminals.
Yeah.
And I got to use a lot of psychology on them.
You definitely
got
to use
love
that.
people. I love humanity. So I don't know what I'm going to use this degree for, but all I know is that all my classes were very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And how life is, most of the time you get your degree, you get jobs on a humbug deal. Guys get into sales. Like, yeah, there's no class for sales.
Right.
I'm not a business major. You end up selling insurance. You didn't go to anything you went to school for. Most of the time, you're not getting your degree in that off the bat, unless you say, "I don't want to make any money for the next 3-4 years. I'm going to go in there and work my way up, do whatever." So when I look at, you have an interesting story of where you went from Monrovia to Santa Ana to UC to the Bulls to the Lakers to a third of all of the NBA teams.
A tour of duty in the NBA.
But everywhere you go, man, people love to see you. You're very respected. You go around, and you've done a lot with your platform in schools.
Yeah.
Not just here, but in Chicago and Detroit and all these other places. Yeah. You started something. Tell us a little bit about what you started.
Well, I started a company called Graduate, where we acknowledge and inspire academic achievement. And it came from that moment when I got my degree, man. Like that rush that I had, I wanted to try to have something that could resonate that pride. And when I graduated, I invited my family and friends, everybody who came. I got these shirts made that said, "Had to graduate a Bearcat."
Remember that, yeah.
And everybody was wearing them at the graduation, and everybody was like, "Man, where'd you get that shirt from? I hadn't seen that before." And they was like, "This is Corey's shirt, Corey." So I got to put this part in there. I just did it without getting license approval.
Yes. Marty was like,
Marty like, "Who in the hell is this?"
"I'm coming to get you, Corey."
So, but after that, man, I got the response, and everybody was liking the shirt. So I said, "Man, I want to try to get these shirts made and start this company promoting education through this brand." And man, I went and sat with Marty, and I take my hat off to Marty, man, because he was real patient with me. You know what I mean? He walked me around, told me what the process I needed to even establish the brand.
What's Marty's last name?
Marty Ludwig,
Ludwig, that's right.
Director.
He's licensed director at University of Cincinnati.
And so he took me to my screen printer and told me the proper way to do it. Because, I did the first shirts I just did from some local guy and just gave them to my family and everything. So he
put you on game.
He walked me through game.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of was the stepping stone. And then
shout out to Marty.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Marty. But then during that process, the guy who owned Had To saw that I was doing and said that he wasn't going to allow me to use Had To on there. And so I was like, "What?" He's like, "Nah, man, you can't use Had To," basically saying I couldn't use it no more. So I was like, all right, well, I was mad because I had already bought all these shirts. And so I told Marty the situation, like, you know, I can't use these shirts. I didn't spend all this money. And he said, well, you know, just don't put them out. That's what and I said, don't worry. I would never do anything like that. So I got with my family and everybody, and they pretty much said, well, you weren't trying to promote Had To. You was trying to promote Graduate. So just start calling the brand Graduate. And I'm like, you know what? That's it. That's what we're going to do. So we started Graduate Apparel, me, my partner Steve, Marvin Burns.
It's spelled GRADU,
Yeah,
8 with a tassel on the side of it.
Yeah, it's a reason behind that. So when we started it, the first design I was telling Marvin that I wanted to say Had To Graduate. And this is right when the phones you was able to start texting, you know, so people started shorten their words to get them into text. And he said, well, why don't you put an 8 at the end of it, and that'll represent the ATE. And I was like, all right, send it to me. Let me see what it looked like. And when he sent it to me, I was like, oh, okay, I see that. And that could be the logo for it. And then he said, well, I'm going to put a graduation cap on it to stamp that as the logo.
That's right.
And he did that, and it was like, okay, now this is it right here.
That's when you start walking in your office. Like, hey,
I saw it, yeah. Like, man, okay. And we just started. Yeah. So we I started doing basketball camps and stuff. So I was getting shirts made and giving them to kids, promoting the Graduate brand. And then my high school teammate Steve Mincy saw the logo and was like, man, that's it, but you need to jazz it up a little bit. And he went into the creative side, and what you see is the final version of what he saw, and that's how the true essence of the brand logo came to be. Everything in the logo has a meaning. So if you know about the number 8, it's the universal number for completion, you know. And then the graduation cap kind of signifies that on the Graduate. And so it's a clean logo, and our tagline is simply believe and become. Believe in the person you want to become and graduate. So the whole brand kind of took on this persona, and we just been doing a lot with it, man. We done gave out scholarships. We done supported different organizations. And then we just sat in the office and said, man, we really need to put emphasis on this brand. Like, you know, we did shirts and hats and all these different things, and we were just sitting around and it was like, man, what is the true product that every student needs? And we said a backpack. And so Steve went and got all these Nike, all these different backpacks. He said, pain point for this one don't have that support. Pain point for this one, it don't have a charging port. Pain point for this one. And so he looked at all this, then we went to China and met with some manufacturers. He laid all the bags out, and then they started looking and critiquing everything. If you want to make this better, do this. And he nailed it, man. We came out with a phenomenal backpack.
That was a long process, because after you got back, it was still, they were sending you stuff, but it was on the wrong side. Yeah. The pocket was on the wrong side.
You were there?
Yeah.
You know, they couldn't nail it at first. But that's part of entrepreneurship that I learned. Like, it's hard to get things right on the first time. Look at this podcast, like, you know, from the first time.
And then the tariffs hit.
Yeah, and then the tariffs hit. Yep, and we're still dealing with the tariffs. But we were able to get this backpack, and as soon as he finished it, I'm like, man, that's the legacy right there.
All right. I want to show you guys what he just gifted me. First of all, let's take some of this stuff out before we do. Why don't you go over these real quick for the people?
So if you can see this, this is what we call the evolution of knowledge. And there's 8 levels of education that we promote in our brand, from pre-K all the way to the doctorate level. So that's kind of symbolizes the 8 logo in a sense. So it just worked out that way when we started thinking of the essence of what we're trying to do, and then we were able to label all 8 levels from the beginning to the completion. It was like it was almost like a godsend.
That's right.
So we knew that our brand was definitely different from anything out there, different than Nike, Adidas, Reebok. Nobody's promoting or acknowledging education the way Graduate does. And the beautiful thing about it, this brand is going to be a global brand by the end of my lifetime. And it's going to start right here at the University of Cincinnati. So
where can they get this book bag?
Right now, the book bag is currently at UC Bookstore and UC Online Bookstore. We are redoing our website right now, our personal website, but it should be done by the end of next month. But you can go and get this book bag. It's a travel bag. It has all the amenities you can think of. That you can kind of see all the details we put in it, the craftsmanship.
Hey, look at the Bearcats along the side here.
Yeah. Wow. So we really put a lot
big logo here. Hey, I was taking
trim.
this, the trim from behind. Yeah. So you gave me one of these. You gave me the red one, and I was taking it for during the basketball season. And we had just got basketball backpacks from the university. And I said, I'm gonna rock with Corey's while we're on the road. And everybody, even though we had these brand new backpacks, they were beautiful from Jumpman. Everybody wanted to know where I got this. I said, this is Corey's. This is Corey's brand. And they like, how can I get one of those? I said, well, it ain't out yet. But
you didn't do me no favors by saying that. Trust me.
Got a little charging port here.
Yeah.
So when I tell you that you can have your, and then he has, do you have the
charger port?
The charger. So you got here is you got a power bank, and it has Graduate on the power bank. And that thing goes in there. And when I tell you this power bank saved me several times on the plane, because first of all, you get on the plane and you got 80% on your phone. And so Dan and I are doing our notes on the phone, and then by the time an hour and a half in, we're watching movies. By the time you get off that plane, you're at 30%. Yeah. You're hoping that the bus that you get on off the plane has power things on it. Some do, some don't.
Yeah.
So now you're scrambling, looking for somebody with the power, and there's all kind of managers that need power and all that. And I had this thing, and my phone was completely charged by the time I got off the plane. I had several people that was sitting next to me able to put their port in there because it's dual ported. And you can have, so I was getting mine charged, getting that person charged, and still had 50% battery left.
Yeah.
I said, oh man, this is incredible.
Yeah. The other aspect we focused on, because we know that back problems are a lot of people and kids deal with back problems when they're carrying these bags. So we went out of our way to get the highest graded technology for back support in this bag. There's a plate in here that's specially designed for this bag that helps support your back. We added extra padding on the shoulder sleeves and on the back sleeves. So even though the bag is big like this, you're fully supported. And that was one of the things we did when we went to China, to make sure we define that part of it, because that's the most important part of the bag to me, is being able to have support while you're repping your graduate.
Single shot me in, Chris.
Yeah.
Believe and become. You got it on this side. You got the UC with the Graduate on the bottom. I mean, this is good. So it comes with the backpack, it comes with the water bottle, and it comes with the power bank.
Yeah.
So
that's the gift set that we're going to have.
When I tell you that this is something that you got to have for your kids, and he's got more stuff coming along the line, but this backpack has been flying. They had the second order at the bookstore. Yeah. It's been flying off of the racks at the bookstore. Yeah. And now they're on their second allotment. But I tell you what, it's good looking, it's durable. Even the red, when they got dirty, because I was, you pick your bag up, you drop it on stuff. I just grabbed the soapy rag, wiped it off, and it was good to go. So black looks really good. And then you also have the pink, which I had one of our friends who we both know, she was kind of torn because you had a red, a black, and a pink. She goes, I don't know which ones to get. I said, just get all three of them. Yeah. So she got two. She got the black and the pink.
There you go.
So she got the black and the pink. And then Mike Harris, saw it, who we got to go on this podcast. He's down there in Florida.
Mike on here.
Yeah, so Mike's down there. Mike saw the backpack. He orders it, and then he comes home, and he's like running home. And his wife had already did a slight reveal on his Facebook page, but he came and he did a video and a reveal. So he was showing his backpack. So I'm telling you, man, when you got somebody with an entrepreneurial mindset, and a lot of times when you have athletes, they may endorse a product that they didn't create. They may endorse a energy drink or something, and there's nothing wrong with that. No. But when you got somebody who says, man, I believe so much in this because of how it changed my life, and I'm using my platform now to change other kids' life. I've seen you go around and you're passing out scholarships to kids for their, they got a certain GPA or whatever. I don't know what your criteria was, but you got checks, kids around you on your Facebook page, so you got receipts. Yeah. This is something that you were doing. Why go through all this instead of just saying, you know what, I got my own kids to worry about, my own family to worry about. I did my graduation thing. Now I'm just going to go ahead and, try to do the best that I can do.
Yeah, for me, this is just a way for me to say thank you. You know what I mean? I just look back at how I've been blessed through the ups and downs. Even when I made some of the worst mistakes that I made in my life, people that I didn't know supported me. And when I thought about just how important that was for me to keep me going, I want to be that anchor for someone. And to me, education is so important. I always tell myself, if I knew how valuable it was as a kid, I would have took it more serious. I would have wanted to be that A student. And not just based off the rewards of what I would, but it was just the knowledge. Like, I believe that you really should focus on knowledge to be able to exist in this capitalistic society we live in, and the only way you're going to be able to understand it is get as much knowledge as you possibly can. And that's when I just said, man, I'm going to live the rest of my life trying to promote something that's so positive through some of the darkest times. To me, that's what got me through, not just the Bible, but educating myself on life and success theories and all this different stuff. And when graduate came to me, man, I just said, this is what I'm getting ready to live my life through, man. It was a verse in the Bible that just, I read it, and then when I heard that, I thought that was the key. And it's Hosea 4:6, when it states, my people are persecuted for lack of knowledge. And that just let me know, like, man, if you really want to be somebody or something, you got to educate yourself. So that's what the core principle of this brand is all about. We want to be able to reinforce those who haven't gotten it done, but also inspire those who have gotten it done. You know,
yeah, because there's another level.
It's definitely
a degree
another
is
level.
1 degree of 360 degrees. The whole atmosphere or spherical sense where just because you have a degree doesn't make you better than somebody else. You completed the process. Yeah. But there's people with multiple degrees that can't get out of school because the real world is scary, and it's safer to be in class and taking more classes and you know, getting your master's degree. Like my ex-wife, the mother of my children, has her master's degree. And so it get to the point where there was nobody in my family with a degree, and now the floor is what college you're going to.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, it's not if you're going to college, where you're going to college. Tiana's a junior at University of Cincinnati. She's a Bearcat studying sports admin, made the dean's list the last 2 semesters. TJ is at Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas. He last year at Bowling Green, he made the all-MAC academic team. This year at Lamar, he made the dean's list as well. And then Tara is a senior at Walnut, graduating. I was a chauffeur of her prom last weekend, but she's graduating A honors at the best school in the state of Ohio, one of the top 20. So that side they got from their mom. The street smart and the hustle, they got from me.
You got the grind from you.
But when you talk about when you're in a household, especially in inner city households, you're in survival mode.
Yeah.
Education is not. Education may be the only thing that you think that can get you out of what you're in, and so your mom is really upset if you're not going to class. She may not be able to help you with the homework and all the other stuff, but she knows what it looks like when somebody is locked into school.
Yeah. She
knows if you say I want to say afterwards, I'm going to someone's house to get homework. I want to do homework. She gives you that because she's like, I've brought you to the end. I've taken you as far as I can go.
Yeah.
Now it's up to coaches. It's up to the other people, because it really does, and Maya Angelou says, it really does take a village.
Yeah.
So you got to have other people in your life that can have a vision, that can see you, just like you can see your children, and you like, oh, I know it based on this, what they like, what they love. I know
the signs are there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna push them in that direction, and I'm gonna give them all the resources and tools to keep them in bounds, because as bumper people, when you start veering off the path, you need somebody to nudge you back on that road and be like, no, stick here. Because I remember in our neighborhood, the OGs would not let me do the crazy stuff, because they'd be like, man, you got a way out of here.
Yeah.
You playing basketball, you playing football, you playing sports, you doing your homework. You can't be hanging out here on the street with us, because if it goes down, I can't protect you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate those in Long Beach that kept me on that straight and narrow. And to see what you're doing right here, man, you got a lot of people, because, I mean, you was hanging with some real ones.
No question, but that's why I deeply and truly value my love for the University of Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. That was my awakening. That gave me a chance to experience something outside of that, and I was so appreciative of it based on the success that I had here. Like, I know I'm a critical part of our basketball success and what we did as a team, because when we went home, that CPAW wasn't recognized nowhere west of the Mississippi,
That's
as
right.
I say. Once we did what we did, everybody was wanting to give us props on our team, our culture, and then that CPAW started being everywhere. So that gave me the same feeling with this. Like, I have a passion to make this succeed, not just for myself, but the University of Cincinnati, the city of Cincinnati. I want to be able to give back based off the success of my company to the University of Cincinnati. That was the defining moment. I think Marty really said, "I'm gonna help you," is because I want to be Kevin Plain, what's the Under Armour guy, and all he did. I think he went to Michigan, right? Mm-hmm. I want to be that guy here. I want to be able to write a fat check for my company, saying, "Man, look what Graduate did."
Come on now.
And then once that happens, we'll get a statue or something probably.
So you got your on graduation night, to see you stand up there and shake the president's hand.
Yeah.
And she says, "Congratulations,
Yep.
Corie Blount.
Man.
You are a Bearcat graduate." What was that moment like?
I smiled at her like, man, she said, "You did it." I'm like, I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the beautiful thing about it. She didn't know my true journey.
That's right.
But she saw me in that moment, and she gave me props for that. And that's what the whole emphasis of what graduation does. It solidifies the fact that you have the ability to get it done. And that's what we want to do with this company. We want to be the one to acknowledge you and inspire you through this journey. So
I
that's
got
what
my own
Graduate is
picture.
all
I
about.
mean, I got my when my mom took that trip through the mountains.
Yeah.
She's shaking, and obviously we look how beautiful she looks. Now we had to clean it up because the picture was kind of blurry, so we kind of cleaned it up. But the enhancements, she was gorgeous. She was proud of her son, as she is proud of all her children. But she was proud of me for completing the task, and for them to make that trip out and see me graduate. And even Nick Van Exel, I mean, a couple years back, he just went back and finished his degree.
Yeah.
It was awesome to see Nick finish his, AD get his, and Terrace get his. And then when it started snowballing, when Dr. Lucky was like, "Look, we're going after all these former guys that don't have their degree."
Man, godsend. Dr. Lucky was a godsend.
He was. But we start putting pressure on our teammates.
Yeah.
We were telling Nick, we was calling Nick like in our chat thread, like, "Did you finish your degree yet?"
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I got 2 more classes left, man. I'm gonna take a break." And Corey's like, "Nah, man, no,
get it done, man.
No, you can't. You got to get it done. Yeah. You got to focus." And we kept putting pressure on those guys. We wanted everybody to keep putting pressure on the guys that didn't have their degrees. And we're calling John Jacobs.
Yeah.
We're calling other people like, "You guys, yes, you're making money and you're living a great life, but finish the process. Yeah. You owe us."
Well, before Dr. Lucky got here, me, Herb, and AD went to finish ours early on, but at the time the university didn't allow us to be able to get it because a new program had came. Mm-hmm. So AD and Herb couldn't get theirs. I had the money to pay for mine at the time. The school wasn't paying for it.
Yeah.
So that was another thing that made me think, like, man, there has to be a way where we can help guys who want to come back and take part in getting their degree. And so that's what we did with Graduate. We did the reunion, and $25,000 that we raised went back to the university to help former athletes get their degree. And that was the start of it to me.
That's when the university thought, we're going to help them now. We're gonna help them. Look at Dick's quote. Yeah. "My teammates have been really in my corner and pushing me to get it done. And let's all set an example for the guys coming behind us with all of us getting our degrees," because we were like putting pressure.
Yeah.
Like, "Terrace, let's go." Terrace got his, and Terrace was the main one pushing the other guys and calling other people. And now you got other Bearcats reaching out to me, you, T-Rat, AD. Like, how do I come back and get my degree?
Yeah.
And it's important because Dr. Lucky made this a priority of his mission. Yes, he's got athletes that are in his care with the SAS program and all his staff to graduate the current athletes.
Yeah.
But he also felt in his heart, we got to dig back to our heritage. The guys that really represent the CPAW, that made it what it is today, most of these guys, a lot of these guys, and I wouldn't say most, a lot of these guys don't have their degree, and they're close.
Yeah.
So let's just go out and let's see if we can put together something, a program where we can funnel all of their courses through, see where it comes out now, and then they maybe only have 4 credits or 4 classes. Let's get it done.
Man, that's why I'm so proud of you guys, because I had classes with y'all. and for y'all to be graduates, it still throws me off a little bit.
Oh, my goodness.
But no, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. We all knew the importance of it. We just was trying to push each other to get it done to represent the group. That's the thing I could say about our group. We don't want to win individually. We want to bring the whole group. And I think that's what separated our team, man, because to this day, we still talk, communicate, and get on each other about doing the right thing. You guys have been supporting me with this brand ever since I started it. So that's the uniqueness of what we had. And Dr. Lucky, when he came and kind of changed that whole dynamic of helping us get guys to get it done, man, hats off to the university also for stepping up too. But he was the main guy to kind of help us understand how we can do it.
Anthony Buford, B.J. Ward, they graduated in like 3 years.
Yeah,
they're smart guys. They got their degrees. Keith Greger came and got his stuff, and then we was working on Lizette. Like, it was just so many people that have, like, it was the trend. Like, did you get your degree? I know you played in this tournament. You're this all-league performer. Yeah. Did you get your degree? Yeah. Come back and get your degree. Let's focus, because it ain't about you anymore. You had your accolades. They gave you high five. They walked you through the halls. They signed all the autographs. What about your children? Your children, they want to look at that degree next to that picture, and you can do some beautiful things. You can frame it, you can put a lot of stuff on it. But there's got to be a way for us to get back and make sure that this time of year should remind everybody who is going through the process of graduating, or those who have not graduated but it's been on their mind, get in contact with whatever school you went to. And if it's University of Cincinnati, you can reach out to us, and we'll get you in contact with Dr. Lucky and get those classes taken care of, because it's important.
Yep. And I want to give a special shout out to the class of 2026.
Let's go.
It's a fun time. Everybody should be celebrating. You should be honored and feel good about what you're getting ready to go through with this celebration. Take your hat off, throw it in the sky. Man, remember this moment, because it'll be one of the instrumental moments of your life. You have completed a journey that many people don't get the opportunity to. So, man, cherish this and go Bearcats.
And you can put more than water in this. I'm just telling you right now. It goes down smooth, I'm telling you right now. Hey, Corie, I'm proud of you, first of all. I'm proud of you. I'm proud to be known as one of your partners, man, in the journey from Long Beach, California, me, you, and E-Mart. And then
Cali boys, Cali connection.
To see our team and spawn out to the Melvin Levitts, the Kenyon Martins, the Eric Hicks, like all these guys, these legends, Stokes, you name it. It's just all these guys. Now we got to make sure that those guys, they may be in their careers, but we want to bring those guys who don't have their degrees back in there and say, man, hey, you know what's cool? Yeah, it's cool that you went to the NBA. Yeah, it's cool that you're making all this money, raising money and all that. Is it cool that you have I want it also to be cool to graduate.
Man, no doubt.
Ladies and gentlemen, Legends Unplugged, our graduate edition. If you notice the baseball cap that Corie has up on the picture, that's the newest brand of graduation caps.
Chris came with some artistry on that.
The newest brand.
You gotta make it real.
Baseball cap with a tassel on the side. Come on, man.
I ain't taking my hat off, so he said, I got something for you, Corie.
Let's go. Hey, we on all platforms, man. So we are our community is growing. We appreciate the support.
Yep.
So make sure that you send this edition out to all your college graduates, those that are graduating from high school, those that are graduating from college. Make sure they get a chance to see and hear into these stories. All the athletes that went to school that didn't get their degrees, send this to somebody. There's going to be clips of this all over the internet. If you see a clip that you like, send that to that person, tell that person to like and subscribe, because I think it's important. I think it's important, if you're a Bearcat, to really take heed that this university has something to offer that's other than sports. It's a great, deeply rich academic institution with lots of connections of people that completed the course that would love to connect with you. And also go out and get your Legends, get your Believe and Become, your backpack, your graduate apparel. It's much more to come. This is just the beginning of what he's done. He's got tons of shirts and logos. And
yeah, it's coming. It's coming. The whole brand is coming.
Yeah, it's coming. You just want to be in front of this tidal wave before you get ran over. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Legends Unplugged.
Legends Unplugged.
And we are out.